Hi everyone, welcome back to Spanmade. I can see all the pretty sparkly lights in the lens. It's so distracting. You've got such a beautiful eye. Let me take a photo of your eye. I'll show you how pretty you look. Oh, the flash is on. Anyway, the point is, look at the fun lights in the background. When God was a rabbit. A book review. So this book was beautiful and it was poetic, but to put it bluntly, it wasn't for me. I didn't hate it, but I equally didn't love it. So this book is split into two sections. It follows the story of a young girl named Ellie, and she has her childhood and then she has her grown-up years. It misses the coming of age part of the storyline and it focuses on the very beginning of childhood and then the sort of late 20s to middle range, sort of, when she's a fully fledged grown-up but not like old age, which was an interesting format because it showed her point of view from when she was a kid and her point of view from when she was a grown-up and how different yet quite similar those two things, states of mind, really were. It was a really interesting novel full of mini adventures and a lot of real-time, real-life violence, which was a little bit too real for me. It's set in like safe suburbia, but then how safe is safe suburbia? Like, a lot of bad things happen to this character and she just has to cope with it and her life. And like, some good things happen too and some interesting things happen. It's very interesting, but it's very much a coping book. It's about how to deal with life and everything that life throws at you. And I kind of felt like I was waiting the whole book for the next big fantastic thing to happen. I was waiting for some sort of magic or something a little bit more to it. It's a very hard book to talk about because it was so different from other books, which usually I like. I was sort of left with the mundane, everyday terribleness of the world, and it kind of exemplified to me that there are a lot of people out there with happy lives who are quite miserable, or at least they're just coping. They just deal with life. They get along. I didn't feel like Ellie was happy. It was a loving book full of happy moments and some good things did happen, but a lot of bad things did happen, and they sort of balanced each other out into sort of this equilibrium of just mundane normality, I guess. Not the escapism that I crave and I long for. It was a little bit too real for me. So I didn't particularly like the overall story, but it had a lot of micro stories in it, like little one-liners, or how Ellie responds to her friend Jenny Penny and how she understands more than she lets on, and there are a lot of feelings that nobody ever talks about, but you know they're there, which was nice to explore. And I really liked the first half. It was a nod to how smart and how intelligent kids are and how much they pick up on. So this book is a little bit too real for me because I've been coping with life like all of my life. I have an anxiety disorder which makes me need to deal with everyday normal situations rather than just experience and live with them. Whereas I feel this book is really for someone who doesn't know how to deal yet, or doesn't realize that a lot of what life is just dealing with things that are thrown at you. It almost felt like a true story, and I don't like reading true stories often. I like something a little bit bigger and different. It's a very imaginative book, and some things that are a little bit fantastical do happen, but it's imagination and it's understood that that's what it is. And I was like, oh, what's gonna happen next? I need to stop saying I was waiting for something better to happen. It does explore her relationship with her brother in a really nice way, and it gives meaning to a sibling relationship in a strong sense of identity. That's not often explored in novels, and I really like that. I can see why people like it and how it could be really effective for some people, but it didn't do it for me. The voice in this is fantastic. I really enjoyed the way it was written. Okay, hopefully that's all I have to say about that. Has it gotten me out of my reading slump? Yes. I've also started reading American Gods by Neil Gaiman, which I have to admit I am enjoying so much more than When God Was a Rabbit. Look at it. It's one of those books like Lord of the Rings or Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy or Black Prism and The Name of the Wind, like these. Check them out. They're so big, right? That's, woo, enormous. They're such wonderful worlds are created inside these. It feels good to be like, oh yes, I'm reading something that fits right in the palm of my hand. Like, that is a massive book, and I'm really excited to be reading something so big. I love Neil Gaiman and his writing and the way So the good news is that the camera card ran out of space before I had a chance to finish my really long rant about a book that I haven't finished reading yet. So I've come back real quick just to say thank you so much for watching, everyone, and I shall see you at a later date with more books to talk about then. I want to say thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and my content will keep coming whether you do that or not, but it would be really nice to have some sort of validation in my life. Goodbye! Thanks so much for watching. How do you turn this thing off? The stars in your eyes.